Hello everyone, myself Sabri and I welcome you to our channel Solution Bridge Network and one-stop solution for all your Power Platform tutorials.
Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to understand the data upload options what we have from PowerApps. The use case what I have taken here is a simple SharePoint list. I call it as employee info and I have three different columns: employee ID, employee name and contact number as the fields. So here I will add an attachment control, and whenever I upload an information and if I click a button, there should be a Power Automate flow which is running in the background and update all the informations available in that Excel file to the source. To achieve that, I have created an Excel file with the same number of columns and I make sure that it is formatted as a table. So in the app, what you can do, you can give a link and call this as a template so that whenever the user wants to upload something, they can download that template, fill in and upload it. So let's start creating the controls that is needed to achieve this logic. First, I would like to go and insert an edit form because from the edit form, I'll take the attachment control. So go to the data, just connect to any of the SharePoint list so that we can take the attachment control from it. So I'll go to the SharePoint. I'm just selecting any random SharePoint list. I'll just select the same list, click on connect. And here in the source, I will add the employee info so that the form pre-populates all the data. Now, as a next step, we need to make sure in the fields we add the attachment. So go to the field section, click on add and add attachments and click on add. This is what we need it outside. So select it, go to the data card value 12 with a pin symbol. I copy it, I click outside and paste it. So this is the attachment control which got pasted outside the form. You can click the error and remove all the error because these are related to the form properties. So let me select everything and delete it. I have removed all the error and now we can have this form removed because we are not going to use this anymore, and let's place this accordingly. Now I will insert a button to initiate the processing. So I'll take a button, I'll place it here and I'll call this as upload. Now when you click Alt and click the attach file, this automatically prompts for you to select the details. So now I would like to select the book 1, which is the file what I have already created. You see it's named as book 1. Now whenever I click upload, I need to pass this base 64 data of this file to Power Automate so that the Power Automate will have the privilege to extract the data from the file and upload it to the source. As a first step, we need to understand how we can get the base 64 data. Let's go step by step. I would like to first insert an image. I'll just place it here. And the format of this image is the first of the attachment control, which is data card 12 underscore 1. So data card 12 underscore 1 dot attachments dot value. You see, it gives a data. It's an URL. It's an in-memory URL specific to this file, and this is created by PowerApps. This link might not be working outside of the PowerApps. It's completely to internal. From this, we need to extract the base 64 via a JSON option. Now, let me insert a text label where I will be able to show you the transformation. So I've just expanded it large and I make sure this has a scroll. Here, what we can do, so we can say JSON of the image property is image3. So image3 dot image, and JSON needs another one input, which is what format that needs to. I will say ignore binary data. So if you close this, you see a complete information which is on the JSON format. So let me go out. And now if you see, your base 64 encoding starts here, right? So now the next step, what we need to do is we need to make sure to extract all the data which is next to this comma and go to the end and ignore the double quotes. So the highlighted is the data, what we need to pass it to the Power Automate so that it will be able to render all the items, whatever we have updated in the book one. To attain this, we will use a mid function. Let me add one more text label so that I can explain you more in detail. So I'll add a text label. Rather than copying all these items, what I would like to do is I will copy this, and in the upload data, I will set the initial variable, set image data to this. And whenever I click this, now the image data will be defined. I will replace all this with image data. It will gonna give me the same item. So let me make it as scroll. As I said, we will be using a mid function. Mid function has three inputs. The first input is the actual data what we're gonna parse. So we will say mid of image data followed by where it should start and where it should end. So end parameter is optional. If you leave it as blank, it will go to the end of the item. But here we need to still pass the end parameter. The reason being we need to ignore this double quotes. So first we need to understand from where we need to start. I would like to use the find function. So find, we are going to find comma in the image data. If I close this out, you see you get a number. So it says on the 79th part, it has a comma. So I would like to use the mid function around it. Say mid of image data, comma, the start is this item that is 79 and I'll close it. If you notice, you see one comma is coming extra, which we need to start from you. So you go back to your code and say the mid function code where in the find you will say +1. So the start point is correct. But one more thing what we need to adjust is we need to ignore this equal to. So now we will pass the third parameter, which is the end of the statement for a mid. Let me add a comma, and in the next line, first, let's understand the total length minus this mid will give you the number. So it is the length of image data minus this find function data. So we need to ignore one number. So I will say -1. Scroll to the last, you'll see that apostrophe is taken out. So this is a complete base 64 string which we would like to pass it to the Power Automate. So in the upload button, I'll copy this code and I'll go to the upload button. First, we are setting this as image data, followed by we will set this as only base 64, and then I will enter this and I'll close the bracket. So whenever we hit this button, the image data gets created, and from the image data, we are extracting only the base 64 items. Now it's time for us to start creating the flow. Let me go to the Power Automate, add a flow, and I will say create new flow. I'll say create from blank. You can call the name of the flow as data upload. This needs an input. One is the text input, that is the base 64 string. So what is the base 64 input? From this input, as a first item, we would like to save this file to a source. So let me add a new step and I call create file from the SharePoint. So SharePoint and create file. The SharePoint where I would like to save is my production list where my employee data is hosted. This is a backup of files to understand what is the list of uploads that is made by the user. So production, I'll use the default folder path, which is document libraries. So I will use share document. So the name of the file is employee data upload underscore. I would like to call the UTC now so that It will be unique always, and the extension of the file, which is xlsx.xlsx. Now, the important thing, which is the file content. If you remember, we converted that image binary data to base 64. We just need to do the same conversion here. It is base 64 to binary, and then pass in the input whatever you are getting from the trigger. Now you can click on OK. So now this will go and create a file in this file path. It is in the production SharePoint site, and in the folder shared documents, a new file will be created under the name of employee data upload and the time when it is created. After the next step, we will give a delay of 10 seconds to make sure the complete file creation is done. I will say it is to a second and say 10 seconds. Once this file is created, now we need to retrieve all the information available in this file. So in the Excel online file connector, I will use an option called list rows present in a table. And here we will do the same our production site. Look for it, production, and it's of the type document. So it's in the documents library. The file name here should be a dynamic content, whatever we created it in the create file section. So I would like to pass in the same name. So the next one, what we need to pass is the table. So table, you remember, if you go here and in the section, if you go to the table design, employee data is the name of the table. So this is what the name of the table that we need to pass in, but here it accepts in form of IDs. So we need to understand what is the name of the table that is getting passed in there. So after we create a file and after the delay is completed, we will have a new action called a variable. Initialize a variable, I call it as table ID, and we can set this to be a string. Next, we add in one more action, list table present in an Excel. Get tables function. We would use the same location, that is of production, and the document library as documents, and the file name you can pass in the dynamic content from the create file section. This connector will list down all the tables available in that specific SharePoint file. Now we will make sure to set this variable. So add in one more action, say set variable. Here we need to set the table ID, and in the dynamic content you need to make sure go here, and this ID is what you need to pass in. Once you pass in, it automatically creates an apply to each loop, but we know that this apply to each loop will run only once because the uploaded file has only one table. Now come down, go to the list rows present in a table, and go to the custom value and use this variable as the table ID. So this will list down all the items present in that table. As a next step, you can go and update your SharePoint list. We can say create item. We would like to create an item in the production SharePoint list again. So let's click the drop down, go to the production SharePoint list, and the name of the list what you're gonna update is the employee info. Once after you select the name of the site and the list, automatically the available columns gets popped up. So here it is the employee ID. So for each of the items in this list row present in a table, we need to run this action. So let's add in one more action. We call it as apply to each. So in the apply to each, I'll say for the list of items, I need to create an item for this list. Now we need to pass in the dynamic content. So go to the expression, it is the item function of employee ID. Similarly, we need to pass in all the information. It is the item function of employee name and the item function of contact number. We need to make sure the columns whatever been updated here is in the same naming convention, employee name, contact number, and employee ID. Now we are good. Once you are done, you can click on save. Now in the button, after we have all this information, I would like to run this data upload. So data upload dot run, and the input what I gonna pass is only base 64. So now let's try to run this and see it in action. Click on data upload. Now we need to wait till the flow initiates. So let me go to the Power Automate and I'll go to the flows section to see the new flow whatever we created is running or not. You see the data uploads, go here and you see that it's running. So let me open the flow and wait for the flow to get completed. It says the flow is completed. Now if you go to the list and reload the list, you should see the one item whatever we have updated on that section available in this list. We could see an empty row got updated. So let's go back to the flow and troubleshoot. So the input, whatever we received is correct. A file is created. Let me go to list rows present in a table and let me saw the raw output to make sure if the data, whatever we entered is available. Yes, we have the data available. But if you see the employee ID and the employee name and contact number have a space inside it, but I think we have not done that here in the create item. So let me go to edit and come down, expand create item, and here let me go to the formula again. I say item function employee ID and let me click on add. Similarly, I'll make the changes for all the other items. Item function employee name and the item function of contact number. Let me save this. Now, since we have made the changes here, we need to make sure we go to the Power Apps, refresh the flow, and retrigger the run. So go to the Power Apps, click the three dots, say refresh, so that whatever new code we have updated in this section will be available in this Power Automate. Once done, you can reinitiate the upload. Go to the Power Automate, go back and see the run history. You can see the last run history initiated 23 seconds ago and it has succeeded. Let me go to the employee data, reload. The employee ID1 ABC 123 is already a part of the list. By this, we come to end of this video. In this video, we created a attachment control and we tried passing in an input and we tried to upload the data of that control to a specific SharePoint list. If you have any questions, please post it in the comment section and we will be happy to help.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, hit the like button, and press the bell icon for our new video alerts.